the next craft we're making?
Nani, we're going to be doing the daytime and the nighttime. And Allah said that he created the daytime and the nighttime. So I'm going to do the nighttime and you're going to do the daytime.
Okay.
We wanted to switch it up, but I'm doing the nighttime, that's for sure. She's doing the daytime, that's for sure.
Okay. So we're
let's put
gonna
our
be
paintbrushes
painting
our
a city.
color.
We're doing a city first.
Yes.
So what's the first step we need to do?
We have to put our paintbrushes in the color we want.
Why don't we just do it this way? That way, whenever, if we need any colors, we just see which one we want and we use that same brush and we put it back. So it doesn't mix the colors up.
Okay, so I think we need some tissue paper. We're going to cut tissue paper and then we're going to glue it onto our canvas. We are not making buildings, we are just putting them on. The buildings, we are basically creating them.
Okay.
So you got your canvas?
Mm-hmm.
Want to put it up? So,
Yes, I got my canvas.
I got my canvas. So let's get started.
So now you take the tissue paper and then you cut into strips.
Yes, and then we get the school glue and we put it on and then we paint. Put them like this size.
Okay.
This is the tallest you can go. Use shorter than that. Nani, can you please, why don't we put a little bit here? Or like on a tin can or so.
Okay, let's put it in here.
Yeah. Right here in the middle. Or
Let's put it here on the side.
Yes. Or. Oh, no, stop. You put too much.
You put yours on and then I will use a brush once you're done. Here's more paper more tissue paper I've cut for you.
Thank
There you go.
I actually wanted blue. How could you read my mind? So I'm going
sizes.
and sizes. Sometimes they're tall, sometimes they're big, sometimes they're very short and stubby.
I think I want to improvise.
Improvise.
Yeah.
With what? I'm
With a stick to it on a brush. There we go.
Do you have any more of the buildings for me?
Oh, sure. Here we go. Here's more cut strips here. Let's do a whole lot that I cut for you. There we go.
Wow, you're so nice. So
Tell you about that show I was watching on Muslim Kids TV. It was about great heroes of the past. And that story is about this Uthman bin Affan who was walking in the streets of Medina on a hot, hot day. And while he had just walked and heard a talk from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying that whoever buys the well of Ruma will be a paradise made for them there'll be a well made in paradise for that person.
Oh.
So as he was walking along, he came across this one owner who was owning this clean well, which was the well of Ruma, and he went up to him and he approached him and says, I would like to buy this well from you. And the man refused. He says, no, I'm not going to sell you I don't want to sell it to anybody. So then he says, well, how about he was insisting. He says, well, it'll be nice if I will pay you whatever you want. So this man says he gave a really high amount, like it was 24 dinar, which was a lot of money back then. So then now the Uthman alayhi salam says, well, if that's, why don't we do this? How about I pay you half the amount and we both can be owners. Then the guy starts laughing and says, how can we own a well and share it in half? How can you break a well in half? How is that possible? He says, well, why don't we do this? One day it'll belong to me to do whatever I want to do. And the next day you can do whatever you want, because this man was charging all these people lots of money for water, and he had the only well that they could drink from. No one else could. There was no clean water anywhere else. So he knew he could charge whatever he wanted and the people would pay. So Umar bin Affan decided, you know what, I will buy it, and the day when I have it, I'll do whatever I want. So the man agreed. So when it was Umar's time to have the well, he called the people and told them, y'all can come and take water for free. And the people were so happy, they lined up and they took the water for free. And then the next day, the owner was the one who had the well. And there were people that did not know, had not heard about that Umar's promise that whenever he has it, that they can have free water. So there were a few people had already lined up and paid whatever the price was. And then the next day, there was an even bigger line for Umar when he had the well. And he was giving the water away to them for free. Eventually, it came to such a time that the man, when it was his turn, nobody would show up. There was nobody in his line. So he says, well, this is not working out. I'm not making any money. So he went back to Umar and he told him, not Uthman, sorry. He went back to Uthman and said, you know what? How about if I pay you my half that I own? And so Uthman says, okay, sure, I'll buy it. So he paid him, and from that day on, people had water for free. They didn't have to pay for water at all.
Really?
Yeah, and then he says, you know what, even though he knew what was better for him, because he knew that he was going to be promised a well in Jannah. So that's why he did what he did, because that's what he heard from the Prophet ﷺ. And whatever the Prophet ﷺ says, it's always true, and it's going to happen. So this kind of reminds me of that story about the city that we are building here. So do you think, about the story, what do you think that if in real life, in today's times, do you think that's possible? Do you think people would do something like that?
Some people can build wells for other people.
Like right now, all over the world, there are people who are having the same problem. They don't have any clean water to drink. And if you give money to help these people so they can build these wells, and then imagine the reward you would get for doing that.
Yeah.
That would be something.
So what does yours look like?
Well, mine is still coming along.
Mine is already done.
No, that was...
Nighttime time. This is my city, and now, see how it's white in the background? That's going to take for a minute. I'm going to go for black nighttime, and Nain's going to go for a bright daytime. Let me get to painting.
Oh, you're going to paint over it? Can you paint on top of it?
No, I'm kind of...
Around it?
Around it.
Okay.
I wonder what sun you're going to make.
I know I don't know how to make a good sun,
I know how to make a really good moon. So, I'll created the night and the day, basically what we're painting. But I did the night and Nani did the day.
And the night is for praying and for sleeping. And
But
the day is for working, waking up
and doing all that stuff.
doing your chores. So that's why the night was created for us to rest.
Which one's better? Mine or Nani's?
Mine is plain.